I know it's broken, that's mechanic life. We literally do not care about our own vehicles. So like, y'all care about my stuff more than I do. All right, so this is about where we're gonna start off for the next video. I need to change the transfer case seal on this thing because there is almost no fluid in it. This is kind of how we're gonna send home. It's pretty decent. Alright. So if we look under here, you can see there's a streak the whole way, like where the transfer case fluid was hitting. This seal is shot. I ordered one a while ago. So I'm gonna get this drive shaft dropped. I need to get the 4 bolts up there, the carrier bearing bolts, and then this just slides out. Pop the seal out, put the new one in, check the fluids. All right, well here is the seal. I probably purchased this thing like a month ago. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I was like, why did I even order this thing anyway? Like I'm not gonna do it. And now I'm like, there's so much leaking under there. So we're gonna do that today. Ignore the train. Oh, look at that, we got all 4. So this one's been stripped for like ever. And like, I don't know, you can very easily like slide it out of here. So I'm trying to break them loose by hand, which I finally got, but that sucked. So now I'm gonna have to pry this thing down. I'm gonna end up greasing that joint up there because it seems like there's a little bit more slop in it than I want. So maybe that'll fix some of the vibrations. We have some grease in the garage here, so. I don't think that U-joint up there is happy. Okay, so here's how it's supposed to feel. See how it like moves like really nice and free? If we come over here to this side, you know, that's perfect. I literally have to stomp on that in order to get it to move even a little bit. So side to side's fine. But like the other way, I can't move this side to side. Oh boy, I might be doing U-joints here soon. Hopefully this holds off till I get back. I do not want to do this on the road. Well, the carrier bearing's still fine. I don't know who remembers this, but like I put this together on the old channel, and you can see, because I kept breaking these, so I took a piece of steel and I put 2 pieces of steel behind it and like an exhaust flange on this side, because I was going through these. Like it was ripping the rubber every 10 to 15,000 miles. So I was tired of it. So I made this contraption, and yeah, it's still going. Still going strong. It's been like 40-some thousand miles with this thing, so. All right, so like I said, as you can see, this, you can't really move it side to side, depending on which orientation you put it. So we went and got Duralast ball joints. These are a lifetime warranty. So yeah, I picked that up. They're like 20 bucks. They're not too bad. The Moog ones were like 50 something, but these literally have a lifetime warranty, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm gonna try the Sawzall to cut these first ones out. If that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna get the angle grinder, because how I do it is I usually bend this up like that, take the angle grinder in there and chop it, and I do that on all 4 corners. So I can press them all out, with just pounding them out each side. And then usually I'll take a vise and press them in. I'll show you that when we get to there, but yeah, I'm gonna try this Sawzall first and see if I can't cut them out. All right, still at it. Over here, I got this one cut out, all nice. Same. Now what I need to do is, once you get one, you know, the 2 diagonals across from each other, then you can cut here pretty easily, and then press everything out, and then we can start throwing the new ones in. All right, well, we got the U-joint in. Moves, you know, pretty decent for what it is. Yeah. A lot better than it did, so we're gonna send it. I need to swap out the seal, so I'll show you that here in a minute, but job is done. This sucked. There's the seal right there. I'm gonna try to get my hammer and screwdriver in there to get it out. so that's done. This one here, I greased the absolute crap out of it. U-joints, and then tighten down the drive shaft. And then it's done. Now I just gotta check the fluid in the T-case, so sucks under here. I might get a shower before I leave, honestly, but I don't know yet. All right, guys, so we have, we threw some oil in it. We got the T-case filled up. It was a little low, but not like crazy. Used like maybe 1/4 of a quart. So yeah, we are going to DHEI Fridays now, and then we are gonna head home. All right, guys, we finally be heading back. Doing about 78 miles an hour up I-30. Got the bed loaded down. I'll show you guys a walk around of that once I stop next, but it's like 75 mile an hour here. I'm not used to that. It's been so long since I've actually gotten to drive such a long distance. So it's like 19 more hours on the GPS. It started off at like 20 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna film this entire trip the whole way up in case we have any problems. You guys can see there exactly how fast we're going. So bed is fully loaded down. It's heavier than it was when we had those 2 axles. So an entire motor, transmission, engine crane, all of the scrap, the old stock springs, everything is in the bed. So tailgate's still down, everything didn't fit. Cruising pretty good, 950 on the EGTs, 195 on the coolant temp, everything running good. All right, so we stopped, decided to check everything out. This is basically where we're gonna leave it again. This was hanging, but it was hanging on the strap, so it wasn't gonna go anywhere because I have it tight in the vise. Gonna need to get a new tailgate. This is kind of like broken, but at some point, but now it's like super tight. None of this stuff's gonna go anywhere. Yeah, there we go. Everything's in, everything's gold. I'm gonna keep her going. Okay, so it's another day. I'm sitting here at a Love's Travel Plaza. I got here at about like 9 o'clock last night. It's been around midnight, you know, nothing crazy. They don't have any oil here for my truck. I'm looking for like Rotella T4 or T6. I'm a little bit under the safe mark, and there's no oil in there for me. So I'm sitting here, because I idled all night. Like when I left Alex's yesterday, it was like just above the safe mark. But I idled for about 6.5 hours last night because it's just so humid down here. Like it's already 80 degrees out, and it's like not even 9 yet. So I don't know. So we gotta find some oil. I gotta fill the truck up. So I wanted to show you guys, because a lot of people have been saying about my cluster not working. I do want to let people know, like, none of these gauges actually work. Like they're frozen in place sometimes and then they read 0. But like, and I kind of put that one here instead of reading 0 by accident, because I tore it apart to try to fix it myself. So yeah, none of these gauges work. So I tried to go get this replaced. We had a cluster out of the automatic truck. They were completely different. They'd plug in, but the wires were switched, like the connectors were on the opposite sides. They still plugged in, but absolutely would not work. So we tried that, and I called a couple companies to see about getting it fixed. They're like, well, yeah, we all have to send it out. So they'd have to send it out. Told me it'd be like a minimum of $300 and some, and it's like, I don't have time for the truck to sit while they send my cluster out. So in the meantime, this is where I get all my information from. Like I can switch screens and it'll show me my tack, but you don't, if you can't drive a stick without a tachometer, like you can't drive. Speedometer, engine coolant temp, EGTs, fuel, runtime, the trip miles, and my my voltage for the battery. So, and then I have fuel pressure, which is extremely low. I need to get that fixed at some point, but it's been like 11,000 miles now, and that's how I've been running it. And so I will be switching that up. I will add an oil gauge at some point. Right now I'm not worried about it, but yeah, that's for all the comments about the cluster. I tried. I'm not gonna sit and wait 4 to 5 weeks, and then they even told me it's no guarantee. Like they said they'd send it out, and it's no guarantee that they'll be able to fix it. If anybody can find me a manual transmission cluster that I can just throw in and then recalculate the miles, let me know. Look, I know it's broken. That's mechanic life. We literally do not care about our own vehicles. So like, y'all care about my stuff more than I do. Surprised at how many things are broken on a mechanic's vehicle. Like you'd be like, oh, it's just the fact that I actually film it. You go look at any other mechanic's vehicles, and most of the time, they do not care. We are filling up now, and then we are gonna hit the road. The tires, I can still touch the tires. They, you know, they're not hot or anything. They're all holding there. There's none of them have blown out yet, so we're good there. The U-joint that I put in, they're all holding up great. So I got about 11 hours and 25 minutes left. It's about 727 miles, nothing crazy. I'll be home tomorrow night. I think, yeah, 65 bucks so far. So that's about to click, and yeah, let's hit the road again. Well, we're doing our pre-trip just to make sure. And I lost my light cover. There's the other one. So when I was coming down, I hit a bump that was actually hard enough. I was driving and I hit a massive bump, and this whole thing fell down on me and about smashed me in the face. So I'm assuming that's where I lost it. And I remember when that was cheap. BP prices here in Virginia are expensive, $2.69. I've been getting it for like $1.99 the whole way down. And you got to be careful over here at BP's, because this is the gas pump and the black one's the diesel. That's weird. I don't like it. Other than that, nothing's fallen off yet that I can see. Still have access to that box over there. Everything's tight. Tires are doing great. Hub you can touch. They're holding air. They still touch the leaf springs ever so slightly. I'm gonna fix that at some point when we get back. At some point, I'm just gonna end up getting like 3-inch spacers. So I wanna do 3-inch spacers. Right now, I'm tired of paying for tickets. So everything has to be legal. Okay guys, we just made it the 1,500 miles back home. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start offloading a lot of this stuff here. So yeah. Went and grabbed on our way up. A buddy of mine had this for sale. So I'm gonna show you guys this here in a little bit. So, new toolbox. I'm excited about that. But yeah, so just wanted to make the point. We made it. It was like 1,500 miles or so. And I gotta unload this now. All right, minty. So we just went and purchased it. Paid with cash. It is all paid off. It's, you know, decently priced. I think you can get these. He said you can get this at Home Depot for like 800 bucks. So, I mean, for what it is, that's awesome. I finally have a toolbox. Now, granted, I was never about spending an insane amount of money on things that don't make sense. You can see this thing's got like a power outlet and everything on the side cords. So for, you know, the money that I spent on this is his box. I got the two mixed up actually. But for the money I spent on this, it's like, I don't need a snap-on box. I don't need a Cornwell, or, you know, I don't need a $5,000 toolbox. Like, this actually is a really nice color too. Charcoal gray with the black accents. I probably won't change a thing about this. This is like perfect. Usually I'd take all the chrome off and everything, but yeah, so we are getting everything cleaned out. The toolboxes, we're gonna take both of these boxes off. When I get home, I'm gonna throw the fifth wheel hitch back in. We definitely got to fix the vise at some point. I think I showed you guys that in one of the other videos. So I'm gonna grind all that down and weld that properly with 220. I left in a hurry the other day and my water fell off and I ran it over, so I got to fix this. It was a whoopsie, but I'll take that off now. But it's getting there. So I'll update you when we get all this stuff out. After all said and done, we got the toolbox. I have a bunch of stuff from the truck that doesn't really have a place. The toolbox is, I like it, but I definitely need to get a second one with all the tools that I have. So what I did was I took everything out of the truck and put it all in here, like organized. So all my electrical stuff, tape, and, you know, all the miscellaneous stuff's up top, and then organized down here. So what I did was I took, those are the two boxes, by the way. So I took all of the boxes out of this right now. So it's just one box. Every tool I need in case I break down in this will be in that box. I have, you know, all the other miscellaneous stuff, straps, chains, all that. So what we're gonna end up doing is every time I get a mobile job, take and come back and grab the tools that we need and then go do said job. So for the most part, now this is only gonna be for another month or two, and then hopefully we're working on getting a shop. But in the meantime, here is how this thing's sitting with no tools in the back. See, it's really, really high in the back. Because I didn't realize how heavy all those tools were, and after taking all of them out, this thing lifted a lot. Like, it was actually squatted in the back, and now it's like really, really high. So I'm gonna let you guys decide down in the comments. I want to know, after doing the leveling kit on Alex's truck, do we get coils for the front and bring this thing up with a leveling kit, or do we reverse level it? I prefer to reverse level it, but we're also going to be driving this thing in water that is like up to like right about here. So let me know down in the comments whichever one gets more votes is the one I'll do. The reverse level is free, and then the leveling kit's like 300 bucks. So vote. Throwing onto this video because, hey, why not? So we went and got another tailgate. I posted that on the Instagram a little bit ago. Working on wiring for the third light that sits in the middle of the tailgate, so I'm doing that now. It's already wired. This bulb was bad, so I went and just got 3 new ones because they were kind of bad, and then sprayed some of this lithium grease into each one of them. Throw these back on. Yeah, it's a little rusty, so I'm gonna get that taken care of at some point, but all the badges are there. Okay, let's try this again. Oh look, they all work. Every one of them. Down here, this one's getting a little iffy, but it still works. So, I mean, we're still legal with this one, so I'm not worried about it right now, but I do have extra bulbs when I need it. Everything works. We got all the lights. All right, so here we are a couple days later, just doing more maintenance to this thing. On the trip back, everything was great. I also wanted to show you what the dualies look like with them touching for 5,000 miles. So I went to use the e-brake and it kind of like sucks now, whereas before it was great. Also, I've noticed a little bit of moisture in the axle here, so we're going to be changing the fluid today. So I'm going to pull all this off, make sure that the drum and pads are okay, and if they are not, well, I'm gonna see basically what they're doing in there. So, and then if they're fine, I'm gonna get them adjusted correctly. I'm gonna check the cable next, make sure that didn't stretch, make sure I don't need a new one. So here you can see, and this is this side. So this is the side where the tires are rubbing on the leaf pack back here, and then on the front, they're leaking on the other side. So what I'm thinking about doing is lowering this axle, like loosening all the bolts and then pulling these toward each other so that it doesn't do this anymore. But this is one of the drawbacks to letting the tires touch, is these tires are big enough. You guys can see this is from it rubbing on the leaf spring here. So that's not good, but it still hasn't blown out, so it's like whatever, but it is kind of wearing it down on the sidewall here, so that's that. And then here you can see where it where the tires are touching each other. It's just kind of like all the friction material, like this is friction down here and then this is like smooth, so that's all you're really gonna have to worry about. Like here's on this one, like there's no actual damage, it just, they're just smooth now at this point. So it's been like 5,000 miles. It hasn't provided any issues, so I just need to get this remedied and see how I'm gonna deal with that, because I don't want to leave that like that permanently, because that will cause a blowout. So, but I'm gonna get this taken apart and see what's going on inside. All right, so they were put on fine, but they're just, I guess with the adjustments, I'm gonna adjust them out a little bit further. So let's see if I can get a little bit more life out of them. If not, we'll assume that the cable's stretched and we'll get that replaced today. I'm trying not to throw a ton of money at it, but it is what it is, so if I have to, I have to. But yeah, we'll do this first and then we'll go to the cable. All right, so we got this side tight. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the other wheels off on the other side and check that. But I did notice while we're in here that the cable is kind of sloppy. So I don't know, I'm gonna try to see if that adjusts anymore. I don't think it, it looks like it does quite a bit. So I'm gonna try to adjust that as well. Start spraying that down with some PB and then go from there. But that seems to be where a lot of the play is coming from. So All right, so there I did it. I loosened every one of these up to the point where like they're on the jack stand. So I loosened it up so that we could pull the leaf springs closer together using a ratchet strap on both sides. You can see here where it was rubbing. Same with the other side. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna throw everything back together. I haven't pulled this side apart. Actually, if you come and look, I adjusted the e-brake and did the other side, and like this thing is tight now. So I'm gonna end up driving it around, seeing if everything's good. If not, then we will adjust that side. Let's get these things back on. All right, so I got a few questions on these lug nuts in the comments. So here they are. I'm actually in the process of removing them because I had an issue with the rear back there. It kind of, one of these, I don't know which one it was. One of these just completely like destroyed its own thread, and obviously when you're trying to force 35s to touch and get these wheels together, you gotta like keep going a circle pattern like 40 times before it finally like seats all the way. And it was this one right here, it kind of like started to destroy the outside thread, so I was able to get another lug nut on it. But yeah, this is what I'm gonna end up going with. So I tried pulling the leaf packs together. It made absolutely a shit of difference, nothing at all. It's still touching where it shouldn't be. So what I'm gonna end up doing, just because of the sake of this, I'm probably just gonna see if Far From Stock or one of those companies has any 3-inch spacers in centric, because I wanted, like, I have 2-inch spacers and they kind of suck because they're lug centric, and I need hub centric because these lug nuts, this is like hub centric. All of this is, these lug nuts will not center your wheel. So if you put spacers on here that are lug centric and not hub centric, your outer wheel is going to be oblong. So it's, yeah, it's going to bounce. So, and that was the issue that I had, which is why I bought those lug nuts in the first place. So probably just going to end up going with a 3-inch spacer back here and calling it good, because I can't figure out that leaf spring. Yeah, so I've made this video long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to unsubscribe, leave a dislike and a hate comment, and see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.